we've got to stop comparing eras. It's nearly impossible to compare basketball from the 60s to the 90s, just like it's hard to compare the 70s to the 2020s. Each era had its strengths and flaws, and we have to accept that because the game itself has evolved. Comparing eras is a fruitless conversation. You're trying to compare an era without a shot clock to one with a 24-second one? That doesn't make sense. You're trying to compare a 6'10 genetic freak like Giannis to another genetic freak from a lower tier like Dr. J? That's silly. And I'm talking to you, Mad Dog. What Giannis is doing at his size is unreal. LeBron was right. If you drop present-day Giannis in 1970s basketball, he might not drop 250, but he could drop 100 points with ease. He's faster, stronger than almost anyone from that era not named Wilt. And that's not a stretch. It's not an insult. It's just a fact. Humans have evolved. We're stronger, faster, better trained than we were 50 years ago. Drop Kevin Durant into that same era, and he's giving everybody 50. There aren't enough elbows, Bill Lambiers, or Rick Mahorns in that league to stop him. And let's stop romanticizing the 80s and 90s like it was just the Lakers, Celtics, Sixers, Bulls, and Knicks. There were other teams too. Take the 1988 Dallas Mavericks, for example. They made the Western Conference Finals. Their front court, James Donaldson, Mark Aguirre, and Sam Perkins. You ask me why I remember this? It's because I used to collect basketball cards as a kid. So I've been in this game. I've been knowing about these things, and that's why I can compare these eras and why I know it doesn't make sense. But back to the message at hand. Tell me, who on that team is stopping Giannis? James Donaldson and Sam Perkins moved like turtles. They called him Sleep for a reason. Mark Aguirre, though strong, was 6'6". He's not standing a chance against Giannis. Their backup big, a KD-sized guy without KD's game, Detlef Schrempf. So let's be real. You drop Giannis in the 80s and he's scoring 50 or 70, maybe even 80, on a Western Conference finalist. The people who keep screaming that today's players couldn't play in older eras aren't being honest. Sure, those eras had giants and legends, but the league wasn't as deep, it wasn't as balanced. Take the current Washington Wizards. By today's standards, they're trash. They could probably hang in the 90s because they still got talent. The league today is just as stacked. You put the Hornets in the 90s, this iteration of the Hornets. LaMelo Ball dropping 40 a night. He may have 10 turnovers too, but he dropping 40. People try to argue that athleticism isn't the dividing line. Like Luka and Jokic, top players in today's league aren't athletic. That's nonsense. See, you have to understand something. They're from Europe. You know what sport they grew up playing? Soccer. What do all soccer players have in common? They have great footwork. So they may not jump out of the gym, but watch their footwork. Watch how they get to their spots. They're not trying to outrun you. They're trying to outthink you. They handle the ball, shoot efficiently, and play at their pace. That's how they beat you. Athleticism isn't just about speed and jumping. It's about how well you control your body to dominate your game. So yeah, you drop Jokic in the 70s, he gonna slow-mo your ass to death with 70 points, 25 boards, and 15 assists. He'd be the most beloved player on earth because he plays the game like he doesn't care, minus the cocaine. The greats, Magic, Bird, Wilt, Kareem, Jordan, LeBron, were ahead of their time. They dominated their peers. So if you take today's players who are ahead of their time and drop them in the past, what do you think is going to happen? This argument ignores evolution of humans, of sports, of training, and it's just bad logic. But people keep having it, not because it makes sense, but because it gets clicks. I'm only bringing this up because it's time to stop letting this fake argument affect how we talk about the game. So let's be real. Can we compare eras? Or can't we? You know where I stand. Where do you? Answer in the comments.